She will lead things off here against Neely Lamb. At one point this year, Hessenthaler reached in 34 consecutive games. That is tied for the 12th longest streak of anyone in the nation this year. Elon comes into this one winning the CAA, 33-19 overall. It's the first time they've won the Coastal Athletic Association tournament. And again, their first time in a regional since 2010.
Lamb able to get first strike here against Hessenthaler, excuse me. We talk about the 34-game reach base streak, but how about she's reached in every game but one? And when that's your leadoff hitter, you know that your team is going to have an opportunity. If it's not early in the game, it's going to be at some point with Hessenthaler on base.
Facing a South Carolina squad that not only won 40 games this year, the Gamecocks were almost unbeatable in this ballpark, 31-5. Hosting a regional for the first time since 2018. 2-2 on the way from Lamb. This one back up the middle, and there is a leadoff. Had never played in the NCAA postseason before. In their first appearance today, they upset Virginia.
It's easy as the teams that are the underdog on paper to, as you mentioned, just kind of grow off of each other. So seeing North Florida do it, why can't we do it?
Lamb lets that go, and the first two batters have reached for Elon. Searing drops down the bunt, and the celebration at first. They have the rally.
Placement by Searing and the Phoenix with 2 on early.
You can see Kathy Bocock over there at first base, the head coach of the Phoenix in her 14th year. She got emotional when we talked to her this week about everything this team has accomplished. Winning the CAA tournament for the first time. A veteran squad loaded with seniors that has meant so much to Coach Bocock, who has racked up more than 350 wins during her tenure. Here is Caitlin Wells. There's a base hit to right field. Hessenthaler rounding third, and Elon jumps in front here in the first inning. 1-0 Phoenix. Start off the game against Neely Lamb. And here is the program's all-time leader in RBIs, Gabby Shaw. Fifth-year senior with 141 runs driven in. And what are you seeing out of Lamb right now early in this one?
Well, everything has upspin, so you're going to look mid-thigh to belt high if you're a hitter to drive, but she's really over the white of the plate right now. Even that second strike to Shaw was a good one that she could have driven. So Lamb's going to have to be better on the corners.
Badly fooled Shaw for out number 1. Neely Lamb coming off the hit, but now in the SEC and now in the postseason, records the strikeout and delivers ball 1 to Chloe Hatsopoulos.
Well, the strikeout of Shaw was on that changeup that complements her rise ball so well. And if you're the Phoenix, you're going to want to swing early to keep that changeup out of her pocket until she proves she's going to throw it early in the count. Continue to get on time with her hard stuff. Try, easier said than done, try to avoid 2 strike counts to where she can pull that changeup out.
10-3 on the year. Part of this impressive turnaround for South Carolina. Again, picked to finish dead last in the SEC. 15th among 15 teams. And now a top 8 overall seed. Ashley Chastain-Woodard told us that about midway through the season, the team was feeling a little bit of pressure after exceeding everybody's expectations. And so we asked her, would they feel pressured here now in their postseason debut today? She felt like they had gotten that out of their system over the last few weeks. But here in the opening moments of this contest, it is Elon grabbing the early lead. Again, Ashley Chastain Woodard coming over from Charlotte. Brought in 15 new players and has turned this program around in a hurry.
Well, and for most of her players on her roster, or at least her starting lineup, they've been to regionals before. The 6 that were with her at Charlotte went.
Another strikeout.
And another strikeout on that changeup. That changeup so key for Lamb, and that's why all of the razzle-dazzle hoopla that goes into regionals. They also know what it's like to be on this stage. Now the key is for them to be able to win and move forward on this stage.
With 2 on and 2 away, it's the sophomore Tegan Balser at the plate. 3 singles in the opening inning by her teammates. Count evened up at 1. Elon making the trek from about 3 hours away out of Greensboro, North Carolina. The heart of ACC country. They've been battle tested this year. They've played a few power conference teams extremely tough. Lost to Clemson by just 1, lost to Ohio State by just 1, and they learned from those games. He said, we can play with anybody.
Well, and Coach, real quick to say, we're not going to shy away from playing the best of the best. We're in the middle of the, as you mentioned, ACC and SEC, so we're going to drive and go play whoever wants to play us. And it really does put you in a good mind frame when you're coming into the postseason. You've played the likes of Clemson and Ohio State, who are hosting and playing in other regionals. You know you can compete within the game, and now you get your chance to shine. And right now, Elon making the most of their first inning here in the NCAA tournament.
2-2 count on the way from Neely Lamb. Called strike 3. So she ends up striking out the side. However, Elon strikes first. 3 straight hits, and it's Caitlin. Tremendous offense. Really a complete South Carolina team. Top 2 in the conference in fielding percentage as well, defensively. And leading things off will be the transfer from Oklahoma, Quincy Lelio. Her first year in Columbia, leading the team with a .373 average.
Well, Lelio, a transfer from Oklahoma, spent her first 2 years at Norman, so parts of those national championship teams. And Coach Ashley Chastain Woodard said first it was Coach Katie Browder that was in charge of getting Lelio to transfer, but secondly, they just could not pass up the opportunity of getting someone who has that type of experience on their roster.
And comes through here in the bottom of the first. This offense on the season hitting first for Carly Shelton. As we said, the SEC leader in doubles, whose sister was also busy today playing softball, correct?
Yeah, Florida Atlantic played Georgia Tech in the first game of their regional, and sister Kylie had the game-winning hit. So Florida Atlantic walked off Georgia Tech 5-4, and Kylie Shelton responsible for that RBI.
FAU back-to-back AAC regular season champs. Count 2-0 from McCard to Shelton. And that one misses as well. Well, there is a Shelton family belt. Competitive, to say the least, are the Sheltons. Mom and dad played softball and baseball at Charlotte. Brother Colby playing hardball at Florida. Carly gets the belt, at least for this at bat, earning the free pass to a board.
Well, you talked about Carly leading the SEC in doubles, and the time that softball wrapped up for the SEC season, Carly and her brother were both leading the SEC in doubles, him at Florida as a baseball player. But
so who deserves the belt?
Well, I guess we're going to have to see how postseason unfolds, huh?
Carly's over at first. Lelio at second.
If I'm little sister, I'm probably saying, hey, my RBI hit to win the game is a little bit more than a walk right now.
Yeah, she's the winner right now. Here is Ariana Rodi, the junior transfer from Charlotte. Top 10 in the SEC in home runs in her first year in the conference. 16 as she fouls one off of her. Last week, went yard twice in one game against Alabama in the SEC tournament. And one of the most patient hitters in the entire conference. 46 walks.
I had the opportunity to talk to Chastain Woodard earlier this year too, and she said part of the key with Rodi was during BP, she will value a ball she takes during batting practice as much as a swing that she takes. So if her round ends on a ball that she took and she felt like it was a really good take, she'll end her round.
Chopped over to third. They get the sure out at first, but now two in scoring position with just one away.
Rodi just got around that one a little bit, but far enough off the bag that Searing had to go one. So South Carolina does have two in scoring position for Lexi Winters.
Yeah, Winters, one of the 6 transfers from Charlotte who followed Ashley Chastain Woodard here to Columbia. And she takes ball one. Second on the team in RBIs with 45. Tremendous in the plate. Grew up about 20 minutes away from here in Lexington. The diehard Gamecocks fan, was even a Batgirl for some of their games, so this is absolutely a dream come true. Winters over to short between the legs of Wyrick. One run comes in. Here's the second. And South Carolina has taken the lead 2-1 here in the bottom of the first. Putting your team up 2-1 here in their first game of the regional. Well, here is Lexi Winters. Excuse me, Ella Chansey. South Carolina single, a walk, and then taking advantage of the error over at short. Chansey, transfer from Charlotte. Shallow left center, and making the grab is Hatsopoulos. Two-way now for Brooke Blankenship, as Winters still over at second. And Blankenship, the seniors turned into one of the best fielding shortstops in the SEC, and also getting it done with their bat. That's going to bring home another run. It's a 2-out RBI double for Brooke Blankenship. Live, they now trail by 2. Abigail Knight at the plate. Sound like a broken record. Another transfer from Charlotte, hitting .308. One of the vocal leaders of this team, but before she gets another opportunity, a meeting in the circle, offering. Knight started off her career in Chestnut Hill, played 4 seasons for Boston College. Well, he spent 4 years there, but one was the COVID-shortened 2020 season, and then missed all of 21 due to injury. And transferred to her home state, North Carolina, playing for Charlotte. And now suiting up for the Gamecocks. Watches the count go 1-2.
After the timeout, good settling in by McCard. That was a nice low outside pitch there, executed against Knight.
Blankenship over at second. Couple of hits so far in the opening frame for South Carolina. Nick trying to shake that one off. And one of 15 new players on this team. And check on her, make sure she's okay.
I wasn't a hitter, but they all jump around and huddle enough after they hit themselves in the foot that it's got to be pretty painful.
Pitcher sympathizing with the hitter?
I mean, I would throw in the same location.
Of course you would. That's what I was looking for. That's the cat I know. Sliding over is Hessenthaler. The toss to first in time. South Carolina responds in the bottom half of the first inning. Not only hosting a regional, they're a top 8 seed, so if they advance past this weekend, they will host next weekend as well. The winner of this regional faces the winner of the LA regional, which UCLA is hosting. What do you think about their postseason prospects?
No, I think, to be honest, you look not too far ahead because obviously both teams have to advance out of their regional, and it's tough for both sides. But South Carolina and UCLA are a pretty solid matchup. Both with pitching staffs that have done a great job this year. Both with a couple key power threats. But still, to play this weekend, South Carolina gonna have to, one, win this one, face a hot North Florida team tomorrow, whoever comes out of today, and still Virginia gonna be lurking around, and pretty sure Virginia will come back with a vengeance tomorrow.
It was a crazy game earlier today. Virginia was no-hitting North Florida through 5. Took a 1-0 lead into the 6th inning. The first 5 batters of the inning reach for North Florida, and they end up upsetting the Cavaliers 2-1. They await the winner of this game. The winners will square off in the first game tomorrow. The second game tomorrow will be our first elimination contest of the weekend between the two teams that end today with a loss. Mary Moss-Wirt ahead in the count, 3-1. It's kind of been an all-or-nothing performance so far for Neely Lamb, who gave up 3 singles to start the game, followed with 3 straight strikeouts, and now allows Wirt to reach.
Well, Lamb has true upspin, and so everything's going to have an upward tick. But if you're missing high in the zone, you have to make the adjustment to release just a little bit earlier to start it down in the zone. And right now, Lamb not controlling her stuff in the zone, trusting her spin in the zone.
Showing bunt was Reagan Hartley, strike 1. Lamb has thrown the 3rd most innings for this pitching staff this season, behind Sam Grass and Jory Hurd.
They appealed down to third base umpire Scott Mayer. He said she offered at that bunt. Thought she pulled it back pretty quick, but nonetheless looking at an 0-2 count.
Sends this one to shallow left field. And stepping in front of Vincent was Blankenship to make the grab. I love whether it's a batter disagreeing with the umpire or the pitcher. They always have a smile on their face. Instead of being furious, they're just holding it in, smirking.
I was about to say, is it a smile or is it a smirk? Because I think it's usually a smirk of some sort.
Yes, a condescending smile known as a smirk. There's Laney Wyrick, the freshman. Was that the reaction you had?
I don't. You could pull the umpires and say, ask them if they think mine was a smirk. I think mine was more of a stare. There was no smiling on what I thought were missed calls.
It's all business. Runner on first, 1 away here in the 2nd inning. Elon putting up 1 in the 1st to grab the early lead, the short-lived lead. Trying to respond here in the 2nd. Reagan Hartley pops it up, and waiting for it was Winters. That was Wyrick popping up to the top of the order with two away. Greta Hessenthaler, who singled to start off the night, reached in all but one game this year, including her last 15. I mean, I don't care what level of ball you're at, what conference. Reaching in 51 of 52 games is awfully impressive.
Oh, it's so impressive, and it just shows what kind of eye she has, because either any which way she's able to put the ball in play, she's able to earn a walk. So not only do you have to be a good hitter, you also have to be disciplined, and I think that's why Hessenthaler is such a good leadoff, is because of the discipline, and not just that she gets on, but she sees pitches, allows her teammates then behind her to see pitches as well.
Elon is still out hitting South Carolina. Looking to tack on at least a couple more runs. The leadoff hitter reached Mary Moss Swert with the walk. Since then, a couple of pop-ups induced by Lamb. Two. It's a pitcher's park here at Beckham Field. Nice crowd on hand for day one of the regional. A souvenir. Just 26 home runs hit in this ballpark. 25 heading into today. Fewest in the entire SEC.
Fewest home runs, but most doubles as well. And after watching, especially Brooke Blankenship's double in the first inning for South Carolina, because the gaps are deep, outfielders, when you play normal depth, they're maybe a little bit shallow. That's extra room they have to go to cut a ball off. So even Blankenship's didn't go all the way to the wall or even the warning track, but it's deep enough with the alleys being at 210 that runners can get that extra 60 feet.
This one sent to right center and past the diving Knight. Here comes Wirt rounding third, and Elon pulls back within one. Hessenthaler does it again. By just one, they played Ohio State extremely close. Another 4-3 loss, and here we are in another one-run game against a power conference opponent. The wigs are working, Kat.
We said from the onset they had the rally caps on, and those rally wigs are continuing to give them some mojo.
You can't get too stressed here in the postseason. Looking at that, I mean,
you can't be stressed, but I think
you got to be having fun.
If you're Elon, you're going to come play the way you've continued to play, right? Not the first time the program's been in the NCAA tournament, but the first time in 15 years. So these athletes haven't been here. But what got them here? Playing free, having fun, and right now they're doing that. And you can see it in their at-bats even. Yeah.
Here's Allie Searing, who singled in the first. The tying run is over at second.
I firmly believe when you're the underdog on paper in this tournament, and you know not many people are thinking you're going to pull it out, except for maybe your own fans, you play with a nothing to lose attitude. You have everything to gain and absolutely nothing to lose because you're playing in a regional tournament, and it just turns into a different kind of game for those programs.
They are doubling up South Carolina in the hits column, 4-2. Searing having a tremendous year, hitting nearly 350. All-conference third baseman. 98 career RBIs. One and two.
A nice cut there by Searing, just missed as that went straight back into the glove of Winters. But the discipline of Elon right now is what's allowing them to see so many pitches from Lamb, as well as being successful enough to keep this a one-run ball game.
Nice job by Winters reaching up for that one. Lamb up to 41 pitches. The 2-2. Searing up the middle. That's going to drop in front of the center fielder, Lelio. Searing heading to second, and there will be 2 in scoring position. Already the 5th hit of the night for Elon, and now you wonder, will South Carolina at some point soon consider making a move?
Hessenthaler.
And I think we will have a pitching change. Elon 5 for 10 at the plate against Neely Lamb, and that will prompt Ashley Chastain-Woodard to go to the bullpen. We'll be back in the circle by Jory Hurd. The junior righty Hurd, awfully impressive on the year, 16-3 Cat, and against teams not named Oklahoma, she's 16-1.
Joy Hurd has been a solid, I would call her a 1B. Sam Gress 1A, her Sam 1B, not necessarily a 1 and 2, but she has had a solid season being able to come in. She throws opposite of Gress. She's going to be high velo, a lot of glove side sweep, which is a curveball away to right-handed hitters. The key for her is to trust her movement within the zone, not try to dance around the zone too much. We saw that from Lamb, and Elon ended up being able to be patient, force her over the plate, and drive it.
Facing the most outstanding player from the Coastal Athletic Association tournament, Caitlin Wells. Delivered an RBI single in the 1st inning. Set new single-season program records for homers and RBIs. A big swing and a miss, and Wells suddenly behind 0-2.
Well, Hurd significantly higher velo than Lamb, so it's going to be an adjustment for the Phoenix. Catch up to Hurd's speed right now.
This is there to the senior center fielder. Caitlin Wells had a hit in all 5 games of the CAA tournament, 8 RBIs. But strikes out here as Hurd comes out of the pen to get the job done. Their hands full right now with Elon, however.
Phoenix came out swinging early, able to put the first run on the board, but South Carolina responded with 3 in the 1st, and that's what Ashley Chastain's going to look for from her offense here. Is can they respond to the run that Elon put up in the top of the 2nd?
That one sounded good, but just a routine fly out to left from Emma Sellers. Ashley Chastain-Woodard putting together a brutal schedule, 4th toughest schedule in the country. They played only 12 teams that aren't currently in an NCAA regional. 43 games against teams that are currently still alive. That one roped foul off the bat of Emily Vinson.
When you're trying to prove that your program belongs, you have to schedule tough. And Ashley Chastain-Woodard didn't shy away from that. About the halfway point of season, they had one of the strongest schedules in the country.
Highly intelligent head coach. I mean, you two were getting in the weeds yesterday during the conversation. My head was spinning about chase rate with 2 strikes and lefties again. I don't know.
She makes me look like a novice and all of that, because we didn't even have all that to tap into when I was playing or coaching, really. But it is fun to talk to her every time we get to cover South Carolina to talk about that. You know, we haven't seen Sam Gress in this game, may not, but she has an interesting arm side ball flight, which you want to call it a screwball, but she's like, she doesn't throw it like a true screw. And then, yeah, she'll talk about her team's decrease in chase rate, how good they are at taking, you know, the pressure pitches. So there's a lot that goes into it with her staff, and I feel like I get a little bit smarter every time I talk to her.
Well, I feel like an idiot every time I talk to her. 2-2 on the way. When I grew up, you had batting average, RBIs, but I'm old. Ashley Chastain-Woodard. A lot of people pushing her for SEC Coach of the Year. Just an unreal season, and hoping it is far from over.
And to be honest, a lot of times when a coach takes over and has that type of turnaround, they do get the named Coach of the Year, even if their program doesn't win it.
Said she wanted to put a fence around the state, make sure all the best players in South Carolina stay at South Carolina. 2-2 on the way to one of those players from South Carolina, Emily Vincent. Grew up here in Columbia. Played ball at Longwood in Virginia before this year, but wanted to finish her career playing in her home state and doing just that, and doing it well.
Chastain Woodard told us she went in the portal with 1 goal and 1 goal only.
But there's a called strike 3 to Vincent. The card fired up.
Well, Vincent thought she had ball 4. You see her
runs in a game just twice this year. She hasn't allowed more than 2 earned tonight. In fact, out of the 3 runs she's given up, only 1 has been earned.
That ground ball to Wyrick. Scored an error. It was a hard ground ball. So it's one that, in my opinion, could go either way, but it did go right under her glove and her leg. So I can understand the error call there. Yeah, if Wyrick makes that play, the next out is Ella Chansey to fly ball to left field. No one scores. I was going to say he's probably doing some recruiting.
Probably. That one handled easily over at third by Chansey as Gabby Shaw retired. Well, Jory Hurd coming out of the bullpen to replace Lamb. Hurd has been so good in this ballpark. She has lost here once in the last 2 years, and just twice in her entire career. So far, retired the first 2 batters she's faced. Strike 1 to Chloe Hatsopoulos.
Throws with so much velocity, you can see sometimes, not necessarily like that, the best spot, but with the speed she possesses, kind of a grip and rip mentality that Coach Ashley Chastain Woodard said they've had to try to work on finessing a little bit. Trying to get her to understand the strike zone and throwing through it.
Hatsopoulos struck out in the first inning. And Hurd calls time. She's got 104 strikeouts on the year compared to just 39 walks. It was interesting to see who some of these teams on the opening day of the regional went with as their starter. And South Carolina and Virginia not going with their aces or potentially even their 1Bs in their opening games. The winner of this one plays North Florida tomorrow in the opening game.
You have to believe Jeff Conrad is going with his ace in every game of this tournament.
Allison Benning.
He does have a staff behind her who has won games and proven they're capable, but when you have a senior like Barry.
Near collision in right field as Lelio backed off. Knight was there. 2 away.
Well, Lelio covered some ground on that one, but Knight right under it. You can see Knight right there going, I couldn't hear you. So much noise from crowd and everything that you have to be really, really loud. And at the same time, if you're Lelio, you have to take a glance and know where your right fielder is. And that's a ball that Knight should have easily been to.
It's a pretty good crowd on hand for the first NCAA regional in 7 years in this ballpark. Tegan Balser, sophomore at the plate. Winner of this regional faces the winner of the LA regional in the supers. That regional, which UCLA is hosting, gets underway a little bit later on tonight.
It's nice when you're a East Coast regional matched up with a West Coast regional, as you can finish playing and then go watch and see what happens afterwards.
And a quick 1-2-3 inning worked by Hurd and the Gamecocks defense.
See their two-way player Allison Benning celebrating there at the end as she was able to get 2 big strikeouts there in the bottom of the 7th against Virginia. And they're riding a high after winning their conference tournament. And they had to go down to the wire in that one as well. Now coming into regionals and winning their first game. The Ospreys believe they can do anything.
They had the bubbles going. Is that the new trend now around college softball? I feel like a lot of teams are going with the bubbles.
Oh, I think it's because it's not a noisemaker and it can't get taken away from you.
It's not annoying.
The bubbles probably die out before they ever get to the playing field, so they're not a distraction.
I don't see you being a big bubble person.
Only with my 2-year-old on the patio.
There is Carly Shelton awaiting the 1-0. That one from McCard misses. McCard has settled down, retired 4 in a row after giving up 3 runs off just 2 hits and only 1 earned. Carly Shelton. She has reached twice. A walk and now a hit. Give her the belt, the family belt. Games earlier this year, including 3 straight against a ranked Duke team. That 5-game stretch, that was the 14th longest stretch in NCAA history. Belts one to deep center field. Rhodey has left the yard. Make it a 5-2 Gamecocks lead. That's a Rhodey O for Aria.
We talked about it in the...
And the bubbles. We've seen it all on day 1.
We have. But
that hat would fit my head perfectly.
For a ballpark that is hard to hit home runs in, we are 2 for 2 so far.
That? Just 25 all year, but 2 in 1 day so far. There's Lexi Winters. Well, now, meanwhile, if you're Kathy Bocock, what are you saying to your team after the initial excitement of the 1-0 lead? South Carolina starting to take control. They have a new pitcher who's looked good out there as well. How do you rally the troops?
The conversation is adjusting to Jory Hurd. What is she doing well that we're not catching up to? Probably speed, so let's maybe shorten up our swings a little bit. Just try to get barrel to the ball and let the speed do the work. On the flip side, McCard throwing a good game. Probably not going to let her stay out there too much longer. Use the rest of the staff and just continue to talk to your team about staying in the ball game. You don't have to put up 3 runs in 1 inning. You just have to continue to stay in the game, keep it close, and you give yourself a chance towards the end.
They are still out hitting South Carolina, so that's certainly something to build off of. But now down by 3 in the runs column. Winners ahead of that one. South Carolina with a home run, a double, and a couple of singles. And again, Winters a little bit early.
Well, you can tell South Carolina is starting to get comfortable with what McCard's throwing. Not just the production, but putting good swings on balls. Just being a little bit early there by Winters, pulling it foul.
Well, Elon does have 8 different pitchers they've used this year. In fact, Kathy Bocock said she refused to hand out a Pitcher of the Year award. She gave a Staff of the Year award to everybody. And they roll through a lot of them in each game. So, as you said, we'll see how long McCard lasts. Getting close to 50 pitches. A couple of hits given up this inning. This one lifted to left field. Hatsopoulos in foul territory. First out of the inning.
A good battle by McCard there as Winters continued to foul off pitch after pitch, forcing McCard to work deeper and deeper.
Chansey second on the team in doubles. 200 career hits entering today. Falls behind 0-2.
McCard doing a good job of tucking that screwball in and at the knees. Frozen a couple of the Gamecock hitters in that location so far.
This is away. Chansey's got 134 RBIs in her career. Just a talented veteran. But a strikeout victim there. Chased it. Two away here in the third. Coming up in the next inning, talk to Kathy Bocock, in charge of Elon for the 14th consecutive season, having a banner year, winning the CAA tournament for the first time in her tenure. Get her thoughts on this one.
She has to be like the way that McCard's competing. South Carolina's earning their way on. They're making her work. So when they do get a hit, it is something that they have barreled up well.
I mean, you're right. McCard continues to battle. The offense continues to fight back. Not going to let him keep it. It's not Oklahoma City.
You know, softballs are expensive, Alex.
Everything is expensive these days.
Yeah, but a baseball hits the cement and it's done for.
0-2 with 2 away. Misses.
Once upon a time, a teammate's boyfriend said, you know, a baseball like hits the dirt and it's thrown out. Y'all's ball can hit a pole, hit the cement, bounce off this, someone catch it.
That's true.
And it gets thrown back in, no problem.
Is that fair?
I guess their ball is a little bit more sensitive.
That sounds like a shot, as that one just got a piece of my Blankenship.
You know, you ask me that gets hit with one of those balls, it's not soft, so.
Blankenship drove in a run in the first inning. RBI double behind 1-2 with 2 away here in the third. Cranks one to left field, and that one turns foul.
Hatsopoulos giving chase on that one. But I liked the pitch right before that foul ball. McCard actually threw a curveball away that Blankenship barely tipped enough that it fell out of the glove of Mosswort. That's where you can see McCard just continue to try to work both sides. A little bit more off speed here in this inning from her as well.
'25th pitch of the inning. And there will be a 26th. There is action in the Elon bullpen. Again, McCard, one of 8 pitchers on their staff. Blankenship to right field, and getting a late break, but making the grab regardless is Hartley.